I like puzzles, but synthesis is like the worst kind of puzzle.
This is like a really simple one, but I still have trouble with it. I'm a natural products chemist, is stereo centers. I still struggle with them to this day, and trying to make sure that you set up reactions to achieve the right stereo center is difficult.
Before we go into the lab, they would always like make us like memorize like the what do you call safety sheet for the chemicals. And we had to like memorize like all the little things on it. And honestly, like that part, I would never don't think I was good at that because I just stared at the paper for like the 10 minutes before the lab session started, and then I took the quiz, and then immediately I forgot everything on the sheet.
Because not everybody learns the same way, I think you don't gain as much from just a standard lecture as if you were to go to a smaller group, have like some back and forth discussion between you, the GS, the TA, and like other students in office hours. I think that helps you get a better understanding, and they might be more able to address your questions in a way that makes more sense to you.
It's very helpful. Sometimes you need someone who's not your teacher or not your professor to explain it, because not because they're smarter, but because like sometimes you just need to hear a different angle or a different perspective.
They had plus groups. It was the peer-led undergraduate study groups. And I felt that that was cool because it wasn't, you didn't have the professor or TA there. Sometimes you had like a TA there, but for the most part, it was just students that would like kind of get together at a certain time during the week. And I felt like that was good because there was always practice problems to do, but you could also kind of get a gauge for where the other students in the class were with the material. And so there was like, if people felt like really overwhelmed about it, maybe they'll see that other people are also stressed about it, and that work through the problems can help them feel better about it too.
o.chem is obviously very like problem based. There's like a lot of different ways to get to like the end result. So I think studying with like making study groups, as like cliche as it sounds, is really helpful because you can hear other people's like way, or like hear like a more simplified version of like how to get to the end product.
One thing I do remember vividly was the necessity to talk to other people about organic chemistry.
I suggest having some like accountability partners. Remember, I met some in office hours, and like we studied every week, and we made sure we knew certain mechanisms by each week. And having that was really helpful in staying on top of the material.
I studied alone most of the time. I prefer just like for my deep learning, I just got to sit down and focus and learn that way. So most of my studying was solo. The times I did do in groups, it's because I enjoyed teaching other people. I enjoyed being able to contribute that when someone else is struggling. I don't want them to struggle, so I like to help with that.
After every lecture, I would kind of sleep on it, and then the following morning, or if I was kind of like running behind on work, at least before I would go to the next lecture, I would actually rewrite all of my lecture notes, like just trying to explain it to myself. And when there would be gaps, I would take like a different color pen and be like, okay, I have a question about this because this is like a hole in my understanding. And then I would go to office hours.
I started going to office hours with the professor every week. That was like the first time I ever did that, just because like they're there to help you, I guess. So they're not gonna, I guess, like make fun of you if you don't know anything. So I think that was a big thing, was that, and like the TA office hours.
Both professors really opened my eyes to how o.chem relates to like our outside world and natural world. And whenever I was interested in different molecules, or started getting interested in chemical ecology and like how plants make natural products, they always made time to sit down and explain it to me.
I looked at the lecture videos before each class. I read the textbook too. And before each homework was due, I would get together with a partner and we would talk it out, figure out new ways to think about the same concepts. And whenever we would come to class, we would sit together and kind of talk about the homework, and we would ask the professor specific questions about the lectures, about problems, about just different things.
You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to study real quick. There's no, I mean, like 5 minutes of organic chemistry is kind of worthless. I mean, everybody has their own method and schedule, but you gain more through like a deeper, longer session of studying.
I feel like you can't do synthesis if you like don't have like all the reactions you need memorized. And that comes down to like having time for o.chem.
I spent a lot of time with the reactions and like trying to like nail that into my head.
So, I mean, there's a lot people say about o.chem, and they make it out to be something that's like incredibly daunting and like undoable even, but it's incredibly doable, and it gets better. So yeah, just keep working hard.